太容易。我们要那这个单位的啊，我们说人家你告诉我，如果他有非常欠的，你原来你看，知道你这个被妈妈的，我不生了人家。
You know, these games can be a lot like meditation. You give it your best. You try to win, whatever that means. You don't get what you want. Then you start again. But these machines might be a little bit less reliable than meditation even. Maybe try one of these. Should be a bit easier maybe. Oh my goodness. Pretty close. How about this one? Oh, looking promising there. Let's see. Oh, a double win. That's actually what I was looking for, was this Pokemon thing here. Wow. Let's see what's inside. Okay, we got a Peanuts. I think that's a pin that you wear. And then we've got this Pokemon thing. Oh my gosh, what could this be? Very exciting. Oh no. Not candy. Oh my gosh. The last thing I need is candy. But there is this magnet. Is this a magnet? Pokemon magnet. And then it's just candy. Well, I'll give that to the Buddha when I get back to the temple. I've arrived at my teacher's temple up here in Taipei, in Taiwan, but they don't really have a lot of space. So I'm sleeping on the couch there tonight, but I actually already know another temple nearby, so I'm probably gonna go there tomorrow. Look at this, it's a pin. Anybody know what this is? This pin? Looks friendly enough. Very nice. Card. Hi, Peter. Let's try this one again. This one seems like it's got some good odds. I'm gonna go for something like this. Okay. We can do it. We can do it. Try again here. Ooh. Undaudu. What kind of monk am I? Well, one definition for monk, kind of a very general spiritual definition, is that your primary interest and concern in life is to end suffering. And so in that way, I definitely have that. That is my primary concern in life. But that's the only kind of monk that I am right now. Otherwise, I'm not a monk. Just a normal person playing the claw grabber. See if we can win a data line, or this over here looks good. Oh, this is tricky. Here we go. Oh. Close, but no cigar. Okay, what else do we have around here? Let time run out, don't press. That's an interesting thought. Interesting idea. Now here's the big win places. I don't think we're gonna get anything here, but oh. Not a fan of that one. Maybe here. Oh, that Coca-Cola Monster thing is right there. This we might just be able to knock right down. Whoop! Oh, very close, very close. I was a monk for 7 years, but I stopped being a monk a couple months ago. Wow, that's really close. And I was a Buddhist monk for some peace in this moment. Here we go. That's gonna be a win for sure. Whoa, not a win. One more time here. This happy monster. Here we go. That's it. Whoa. Oh, not quite. Yeah, and even if you don't change life up, life is always changing. So there's kind of some peace of mind in that. Life is always changing no matter what. Oh, free prizes right here. Oh. They wouldn't have this I've never seen this in America. All these prizes up here. And those boxes are full too. The things are in there. Hi everybody. Well, there's no real easy answer why to that question. Why I stopped being a monk. It's more like it just happened. It happened that I became a monk, and it happened that I stopped being a monk. But definitely some part of it that I can describe is, I didn't want to be holding that identity anymore. Being a monk and wearing the robes and that entire life just became a big identity and a big attachment in my mind. So I was thinking, and I kind of knew in some way that being a monk was like the biggest attachment that I had at that moment, and so I was inspired enough to put it down, and I was quite lucky because I got to give up my robe and give up my bowl, which is like the official markers of the monk, to the Buddha Gaya, to the Buddha at the stupa in Bodh Gaya, India. So it was a good experience. But looking back on it, now I see more than anything, doesn't matter if you're a monk or not, you've got to go with the flow, be together with life. And I am in Taiwan, yeah. I am in Taiwan right now. I've heard good things about Eastern Orthodox Christianity or Catholicism, but it's not something I'm particularly well studied or well read in. The biggest virtue for me is mindfulness. Right, so to be aware of where I am here and now. Instead of having my mind in my job or in my life or in my relationships or in my past or in my future, just right here, right now. And I'm in Taipei. And yeah, Taiwan, very beautiful. So we get some coins to win some prizes. Yeah, but that's kind of the problem. Kind of the problem in always seeking for something else, right? It's like, well, I'd like to be a little bit more beautiful. I'd like to eat better food. I'd like to have more money. I'd like to go to a party. I'd like to be a famous millionaire. All these different ideas that we get up, some big, some small. But if you can't be with your life where it is right here and now, then you're not really living. And you don't have access to life. You don't have access to being able to face your difficulties instead of cover them up. That's a good question about ex-girlfriends. Let's see if we can get a W here. And then we'll get into the ex-girl. Now that's a Beyblade. That's actually something I would love to get, is a Beyblade. A Beyblade for my ex-girlfriend. Okay. Oh, that's a strange machine. So listen, when you have an ex-girlfriend and you're feeling that loss, you're feeling that emotion, it's really going to be helping you. It's a teaching, because everything that we have in life we're going to lose. You might be married and have tons of money and live in a wonderful place and lose everything that you have. So it's not just time, actually. Time heals all wounds is a little bit of a misnomer, because it's really that mindfulness heals all wounds. So it's your willingness, it's your ability to be with those feelings that you're having, to breathe with those feelings that you're having. It's very important, and not just to be in a state of avoiding them. And how to not avoid them, just understand that it's normal. It's normal to lose whatever we get. It's just life. And we have to learn how to go along with life rather than being frustrated about the way that life is. Oh, that's like a double tap machine. Oh my gosh, this is a real skill machine here. All right, right here. Oh my gosh. I gotta give up on that one. Okay, how about this bag here? A little happy bag. Come on, everybody, support me here. I don't want to fall apart. I want to get this W. W's in the chat, everybody. Whoa. That's a tough one. Okay, that's a praying raccoon. That's also kind of in line with the mission here. Let's go for a double. That praying raccoon. Yes, good luck. Okay, here we go. Come on, Buddha. Whoop! Here we go. We're only a step away from having a floor cleaner that we can attach to our hands. W's in the chat, everybody. W's in the chat. If we get this floor cleaner, oh my goodness. Oh. Okay, Soul Diet Thoughts says, I had a non-dual experience from meditation which induced panic attacks. Is this normal? Well, it's normal for you. You know, it's something that you've experienced. And whatever we experience, this is a deep teaching. Whatever we experience, that's okay, that's normal. It's what's not okay is when you don't have the ability to let go of what you experience. When you don't have the ability to experience something and let go of that, that means that experience can become a compulsion, or that experience can control you, or that experience can define you. And when you're controlled and defined and compulsively keeping up with some kind of experience that you had, that can cause a lot of suffering to yourself and others. So the real thing is knowing how to stop, learning how to stop. That's the biggest thing. So whatever you experience is okay, but you have to know that experience is stopping. You have to know the experience of stopping. These are tough. These are tough claw machines here. And we all have to grow in our own way. You know, there's a societal expectation or a cultural expectation or a family expectation. And that's not always based in compassion. That's not always based in kindness. That's not always based in wisdom. So if we can find our way even just a little bit to be taking care of ourselves and to be mindful and to be real about what's happening now instead of lost in the past or the future, you just got to keep following your heart in that way. These machines are pretty tough here. But Charmander is okay. Yeah, I'd say I've met quite a few handful of enlightened beings on my path. Guandu Temple, side of a mountain, sanctuary, great park. Sure. Maybe I will visit there. All right, let's try for the floor cleaner again. All right, come on. Floor slippers. These are slippers you can wear that, here we go. Oh, very close. Slippers you can wear to clean the floor. Yeah, I mean, I've made a Discord community. I've tried to do that. I've been successful in doing that. And yeah, where my mind is and where my heart is right now is not in having that kind of responsibility. But Discord can be a great way to connect with people. Great way to stay inspired with your practice, certainly. But it's no replacement. Here we go, everybody. Oh my goodness gracious. It's no replacement for finding a temple or a meditation center near you and, taking more and more responsibility for your own practice and that interest that you have in the path. Here we go. This one's for sure. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, how about a solar charger? This isn't really working out for me today. Here we go. Oh my goodness gracious. Well, what we say in Buddhism is we say that reality is just a reflection. So everything is mind. Everything originates from the mind. Everything comes from the mind. And that's why it's so important that you take responsibility for your mind, for how you relate to your mind, and that you don't blame your life or blame your experience on the external world. Because everything is your mind, and if you can truly learn how to deal with your mind in a way of mindfulness, in a way of freedom, in a way of compassion, then you won't be lost. You won't be stuck in so much suffering. So you can see this is the Tabarwa Center here in Taiwan. I've been here before. So study Judaism. Can meditation cause physical death from awakening? Well, you can die at any moment. Do you want to know what the cause of death is? Does anyone here know what the cause of death is? The ultimate cause of death. The cause of death is birth. So whatever else happens, whatever you come up with, whatever you think about in terms of, how you die or what's going to happen, it's because you were born. Because you were born, you will die. Birth and death. In a big sense, in a major sense, we're dying all the time. Certain aspects of our personality, certain relationships that we have, certain places that we find ourselves in, pass away. They disappear completely. And enlightenment is said to be a complete freedom from that cycle of birth and death, a complete freedom from that cycle of arising and passing away. Because we keep attaching to this and that. We keep attaching to this idea and that idea. We keep attaching to this experience in the body, this sensation in the body. We keep attaching to this person, this place, this idea that we have. That's right. It's just like the whole world is a mirror. You can't grasp a hold of the reflection. just like in a mirror. Instead, you have to learn how to be aware of the reflection, be aware of what you see, what you hear, what you feel, and be able to not attach to that. Buddhism can take a lot of different forms depending on how you approach it, how you practice with it. So if you see Buddhism in this idea of emptiness, which is just like nothing at all, the idea of nothing at all, that's not really emptiness in Buddhism. That's kind of rejecting everything. The nothingness or the emptiness in Buddhism contains everything, is open to everything, is inclusive of everything. So sometimes they translate it as boundlessness, limitless spaciousness. And so to ask, is there reincarnation, you have to ask, what is the self? You know, what is yourself? What is the self? What is my real true ego? And you don't ask that about somebody else. We all love to do that. Oh, this person is really like that, etc., etc. But asking yourself, what is my real true ego? Looking at it in the way that you can look at it. Not some idea of examining yourself, but looking through your own direct experience. What is myself? What is the self? And you know, what is it? That's good, Veronica. Looking without judging, seeing things as they truly are. Seeing things as they are in this moment. I'm fallible enough already. I don't have to intentionally allow pleasure and attachment to come back into my life. They come back naturally. And then learning to let that go and learning to learn from that experience. How many times have you sought after a pleasurable experience and you didn't get benefit from it? You didn't get freedom from it. It's not something to be removed, it's something that's not there already. The ego is something that is already not there. Is already not there. We're just conceiving about things. We're conceiving, bringing up thoughts on thoughts on thoughts about actual experience of reality. So if you can stop conceiving about things, if you can train yourself to stop conceiving about things, you can tune the dial into reality. There's no separation in reality, so there's no space for a separate self in reality. The enlightenment, or the nature of the mind, is free from separation. It's free from time. It's not based in time. So we can conceive all kinds of things. It's just like how we can build massive skyscrapers, can't we? But massive skyscrapers, what? They fall down in the blink of an eye. What are you talking about? We built them. There were people living in them. We put the best technology in it. We invested all this money in it. We put all our power and energy into it. It's a skyscraper. It's right there. And then in an instant, it falls down. So the ego, or the identity, or the story-based idea you have about yourself is just like a big skyscraper that's been built up. So at times it seems very in your face because you're looking right at it, or something's happening and you're having to deal with it. And sometimes you can't even see it because you're far away. You're out on an island looking back towards the city. You just see a little bit of the skyscraper, right? But the nature of that skyscraper is impermanence. The nature of that skyscraper is temporariness. The nature of that skyscraper is emptiness. Frozen? I have no idea what's next for me. Find a way to volunteer, find a way to give, find a way to connect with something that's more important than yourself. That's really mostly about our desire for pleasure experiences. And also we idealize having these experiences at parties or clubs, or having these interesting relationships with interesting people. But reality really doesn't work like that. And so even if you got that experience, even if you got what you were looking for, there would still be suffering there. There would still be a lack of fulfillment, a lack of freedom. So at moments like these, I have nowhere to go. I have no one to be. I'm completely alone in the world, in my mind, at this moment. And so, closing my eyes and turning my mind around to look within, can be very peaceful, can be very enjoyable. So if I get some idea about success, about pleasure, about because we look to these celebrities, we look to social media influencers, and we might balk, or we might look at those things and say, well, that's not really what that's kind of silly, and I'm happy living my life. But deep down, we all want pleasure, we all want fame, we all want wealth, we all want beauty, we all want what these people are supposed to be having, right? They don't actually have any of these things. It's just like an advertisement. So instead of seeking after this social media advertisement lifestyle of being more famous and having more pleasure and having more people praise you and say good things about you, actually learn how to stop seeking and turn the mind internally. Bring the mind home to the internal state. Bring your attention home to the internal state. And kind of meet, M-E-E-T, your breathing. Meet your heart beating. Meet your body being. Don't be intimidated by desire. Don't be intimidated by fear. Don't be intimidated by complicated thinking. Just come home to yourself. Your true self that's not a story, that is right here and right now, living, breathing in this moment. And let everything else fall away. Let your heart, let your mind be together with everything falling away. Because the nature of everything is to fall away. Whether it's falling apart now, whether it fell apart in the past, whether it will fall apart in the future. Everything is falling apart and will fall apart. So be okay with that, accept that, open to that, embrace that. Embrace that experience of everything falling apart. Enlightenment definitely is not a scary experience, but the process of moving towards letting go of all the things that you're attached to on very, very subtle levels can be very intense, very difficult. So that's why in some ways there's a different path or a different track for monks versus people who are not monks but also want to live a good life and be informed by the teachings of the Buddha. So here in Taiwan, here at the meditation center, there's all kinds of different people, there's all kinds of different perspectives and experience, but all of these are informed by the Buddha. Yeah, let's put on my shoes and we can look around a little bit more. Am I enlightened about what? I just am. For better or for worse, I just am. Yeah, but you also need a good supportive environment. You need good teachers. You need to have the right information about what you're doing, so you don't get yourself suffering or stuck or lost in the ego. Because the ego is a very, very tricky thing. It's very, very tricky. Mani Padme Om Mani Padme Om Mani Padme. Let's get some W's in the chat, everybody. Leave a like, share this live stream with your grandma, and W's. Are we still live? Anybody there? What is enlightenment, awakening mean to you? Maybe we can ask everybody who's here, what does enlightenment, what does awakening mean to you? You can write it down. Thank you, Miss M. Enlightenment is really not being tricked by appearances, not being tricked by your thoughts, by your mind, by your desires, by your fears, being free from everything that appears. So no matter what appears for someone who's enlightened, they're free, they're not suffering. And what's really surprising and maybe less known and less understood is that so much of what we do is motivated by our suffering. So if we weren't suffering, and if we didn't have suffering, the way that we live our lives may be totally different, maybe fundamentally different. No, it's not about magic. It's not about something special. A lot of special things can happen as you take the path to enlightenment more and more seriously, but that's not what it's about. It's more like an ordinary freedom, an ordinary peacefulness that is not controlled, that is not influenced by anything outside. We're all full of crap. Everybody here is full of blood, urine, fecal matter. That's the nature of the human body. And the mind also, greed, anger, delusion, these poisons that come up. So there's nothing wrong with being an imperfect person. And if we understand that people can be imperfect people, and they can be skillful, and they can be kind, and they can be generous, and they can be compassionate, etc., then we can actually start to look at each other instead of building up these artifices, these images of each other to blame, to shame, or to praise, to outright praise. We're human, and according to our experiences, we can help each other, we can share with each other, we can help each other in all kinds of different ways. So, if we're open-hearted, and if we're open-minded, we can we can understand that grasping onto this and that is attachment. So there's no right and wrong in you grasping onto this and saying, hey, look, you're grasping onto that. That's not the way forward. If you see someone grasping onto that, and you say, hey, you're wrong, I'm grasping onto this, that is incorrect. Because it's still just based in grasping. It's still just based in attachment. So we can take a non-dual approach, a non-intellectual approach. We can take an approach that's not based in words and phrases, not based in describing things. So having a non-description based experience of reality, which in itself is just another description. So you have to let go of that as well. You have to detach from what you think is real. Actively in meditation practice. There's no song to sing. There's no way of thinking through the mind. We have to go beyond thinking. Go beyond thinking into breathing. So we can take a moment to actually go into that practice together, that real meditation practice. Not wanting anything, not trying to avoid anything, and pausing thoughts. Really feel the space in between your thoughts. Feel the space in between your experiences, your personal experiences. Instead of focusing on thinking, you don't have to try to make yourself not think. It's okay to think. But instead of being involved in thinking, bring your attention onto breathing. So give your attention to breathing as thinking is happening. And instead of giving special importance to the thinking, give special importance to the breathing. And as you're doing that, allow your body, allow your mind to relax. So really take this time to step back from cognizing, step back from any and all kind of complicated thinking about yourself or other people. Step back into the whole body and mind being where they already are, breathing. You can especially feel the breathing at the very tip of the nostrils. Focus on those sensations. And no matter what comes up in thought, no matter what comes up intellectually, you can return and take refuge in and ground in, get grounded in that moment by moment experience of the breathing, those sensations. No matter what comes up in the mind, no matter what comes up in the body, disregard, detach from, abandon, forgive. Return to the breathing sensations at the tip of the nose. Return to the whole body and mind, relaxed and aware. No thoughts about past or future, no plans, no judgments. Just return to the breathing experience. It's helpful to bring up a sense of gratitude with the breath. Gratitude that you're breathing right now. Gratitude that you're doing something wholesome and good right now. Gratitude that you're safe right now inside of yourself. Feel the fullness, feel the richness of that safety. And know that that fullness of safety is always there within you. It's just a matter of stopping to access it and to remember it. We'll finish here for today. Thank you all for tuning in. Be well, be happy, be peaceful, and see you again next time.